My name is Beth. I am a mother of 7. I am a student of scriptures and I am a servant of God, but that's not in order of importance. And today we are going to be busting the myth of the supermom. So when I take my 7 children out in public, people aren't really sure how to deal with us. I get a lot of comments. I get a lot of, wow, your hands are full. I get a lot of, are they all yours? I get it every once in a while. I get, is this a daycare? That's happened before. One time a gentleman told us, wow, your hands are so full. And I told him, yes, full of good things, because that's what I tell everybody. And then my son tells me, Mom, you always say that. And then the gentleman who made the comment looked a little sheepish. He goes, I bet you hear that a lot. I'm like, yeah. But it's unusual, I get it, to take that many people out in public. It's got to be intimidating watching us walk into a store. But so I hear people say sometimes, wow, you're a super mom for getting everybody out the door. And I know they're trying to be kind. I know they're trying to be affirming, and it's wonderful for them to say that. But there are days when I don't feel like a super mom. For example, when I'm in said grocery store pushing a cart and I crash into my child who stopped suddenly, unexpectedly in front of me. Still hurt, and so we had to stop everything and bring the comfort and bring the first aid, and everyone was fine. But I'm like, I don't feel like a super mom. And some days at the end of the day, I will lay out for my husband all the ways that I have fallen short that day, all the things that I didn't do that I wanted to do, and the stuff that I said and did that I really didn't want to do. And I will lay out for him all of my disappointments in myself, because I can get hard on myself. I can get really hard on myself. And he'll just pause and look at me and say, you mean you're not perfect? And when he puts it like that, it doesn't sound realistic for me to have my entire to-do list done and to walk through the day with the grace and care and perkiness of Mary Poppins. That just doesn't sound realistic. But this idea of perfection does sink into our minds, that if we just do enough of the right stuff, then we can achieve perfection. And I think it creeps into our walk of faith as well. Possibly for some good, legitimate reasons that we have this idea in our head. So in 1 Peter chapter 1, 14 through 16, verses 14 through 16, it says, as obedient children, do not be conformed to the former lusts which were yours in your ignorance, but be like the Holy One who called you. Be holy yourselves, as also in your behavior, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. And when Peter says, for it is written, what he means is he's actually quoting the Bible. We see this concept throughout the books of Leviticus and the books of Deuteronomy and in the books of the law, where God is telling the children of Israel, be holy because I am holy. And I think that we get it into our heads that holy means perfect, because God is perfect, right? God is all knowing, all seeing, all wise. He's amazing and he's perfect. And is that really what he's telling us? Is he telling us be perfect because I'm perfect? That's not actually what holy means. Holy, the word itself, it also means set apart, special, different. Be different because I am different. And the whole Torah, all of the books of the law, are about God teaching the children of Israel how they are to be different. And that's really what we have in the whole Bible. God is teaching us how to be different. He tells us if your enemy slaps you in the face, don't slap him back. Turn the other cheek. Let him slap you again. That's different. He's telling us, you have an enemy? Love your enemy. Pray for your persecutors. Well, that's different. And in Galatians, we have the works of the flesh laid out, which It says these are obvious. It's immorality, it's jealousy, it's outbursts of anger. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, peace, kindness, self-control. Well, that's different. And when Paul says, imitate me as I imitate Christ, that's kind of what he's talking about, right? He's like, I'm doing the things that are like Christ. So let's all try to do those things and try to be different, like he is different. Not responding in the flesh, not responding the way that we normally would, but being different because he makes us different. So as we're loving our enemies and as we're praying for our persecutors and as we're living our lives with patience and peace and joy, we're going to fall short. And the other thing that makes us different is that when I fall short, I know where to go. I know where to go where I'm not going to be shamed and I'm not going to be found fault, but I'm going to go and I'm going to tell God, I'm sorry I messed up again, and he's going to forgive me. And that is different. A few videos back, I told you a little bit of the story of our son, Michael, and his cancer diagnosis. And again, thank God he's alive and well and happy and healthy today. But in the initial shock of everything, we're just trying to process, and I felt like my world was crashing in, and just, I'm seeing things like all blurry and fuzzy. And that first night that he was diagnosed, we're up at like 3-4 in the morning, and they're explaining to us the process of treatment and what the indications are of his diagnosis. And somebody saw my glazed over look. The doctor said, I'm sorry, do you need a moment to process? I'm like, no, I just need rest, but that comes later. And over again, the medical professionals kept telling us, wow, you are handling this so well. Wow, you are doing just great under these circumstances. You're handling this very differently than we would expect somebody in your situation. And I can tell you, just 100% honest, that was not because we have a special sauce. That is not because there's something amazing about us. That's because we are different, because we get to lean on a loving Father. We get to lean and trust in God, because that's where our hope is. Our hope is not in anything on this earth. Our hope wasn't even, thank God our son was healed, but our hope could not be rooted in his healing. Our hope was rooted in God, and that makes everything different. So I don't have to worry about being Supermom. I don't have to worry about being perfect. I get to work on being holy because God is holy. So letting my reactions change, letting myself become more and more conformed to the image of God as I imitate Christ. And that is what's going to make me different. So if you want to hear more about the story of our journey with Michael, got that video up here. And if you want to know more about that, just feel free to click the video. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.